Good evening, everybody. As I start streaming without being ready to start streaming. Okay. Now I should be ready to start streaming. Okay. We are live. Back live. We're going to continue working on the Brutalis Dreadnought. As you'll see from the title of tonight's video, it is Brutalis Tickle time because we are ready to get the arms on this guy. So that's exciting. But we're made quite a bit of progress. This is probably one of the most complex models I've put together so far. Reintroducing myself to the Warhammer universe. But yes, that is what we're working on tonight. I have all of my tools ready. Don't know why I have a paper towel out, because I'm not painting tonight. Let us see. Okay. I'm hoping, yeah, it looks like if you put this together properly, you should be able to move the arms around a little bit. It has like all these little arrows pointing at very specific things, but it doesn't say why it's pointing at said specific things. But it is what it is. We're going to find pieces, start cutting them out, and get back to work on the Dreadnought. Okay, so I need 71 and 70. So here's 71. Let's get this one cut out. Make sure I'm only cutting in the appropriate places. So there's 71. I need 70 and 73 apparently. So 73 is right here, so we're going to cut this one out too. So make sure those are out. Here is 72. But yeah, trying to get all of our individual little pieces cut out. I think I still need 70. If I can find it. Where is piece number 70? That's 80. There's 70. Alright. Snip, snip, snip. Gotta get all the sprues snipped off of here to get the piece that we need. Probably. I mean, you know, just from personal experience as a Marine, I'm pretty sure there were several times we snapped each other with towels. I do know, I mean, not necessarily in the shower, but I was a heavy equipment mechanic, and we would snap each other with our shop rags. And that is a game that a lot of the other Marines at my shop learned not to play with me, because I am very good at snapping a shop rag, to the point where other guys were doing things like putting staples in the end of their shop rags because I could draw blood with just the rag. Those were the days. So much fun. Fond memories. And now that I'm older and have kids who are now practically grown themselves, they're moving out on their own finally. Over the years, they would try and have towel snapping matches with their dad, not realizing the reputation that I used to have. Pretty much. Oh, and I don't know what those old shop rags were made out of, but they were the perfect fabric to snap the shit out of each other with. It was great. These weird little stringy orange shop rags, and they just snapped perfectly. And as soon as you got to fray on the end, whoever you were snapping, they were done. And calm down, folks. Snapping each other with shop rags is not hazing. It's fun. It was a source of entertainment in our downtime. And when we were busy, too. Some of the other things that we used to do to each other... I accidentally broke someone's skin with a towel. We had those really nice cleaning towels when I worked at BK like 20 years ago. Good times. Yeah, like I said, if you had the perfect rag or shop rag or towel, was it one of those blue and white striped kind of mesh towels? Those things, you get those wet, those things worked good too. But yeah. Towel snap matches regressed. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I didn't work at Burger King. I worked at Wendy's. But similar thing. Very similar. And yes, I snap people with those too. Yeah. There were a couple of times when I was in the Marines. See, and I never understood that. The tying knots in it doesn't do anything. I mean, getting flicked with that knot may hurt a little bit, but it's nothing compared to that loose little flap on the end, getting a snap. But yeah, there were a couple of times... my younger Marines were having snap rag fights, and one of them would start losing and come get me to settle the score or end it. Because when I walked up with a towel or a shop rag, yeah. Yep. That's why the snap fights usually stopped when I walked up holding a rag. I mean, if it was just, innocent fun and I drew blood unintentionally, yeah, I wouldn't do it to, civilians these days. You would have to know that, they were okay with what they signed up for. Getting into a snap rag fight with me. Like, I let them know ahead of time. This is your warning. You may not like the end result. I inform them of my history before engaging in that activity. Like I said, after the first couple of pops, like the real good pops, it usually ended pretty quick after that. Like, people coming in on TikTok have no idea what I'm talking about. Because as usual, I am live everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Doing my hobby time. Okay, those are cleaned up. Now, I'm thinking like all the little arrows and stuff on here are like, hey, make sure you're paying attention to the orientation of the pieces before you glue them together, because if you don't glue them together this way, it won't work right. Okay, slide the Brutalis over and let's get some glue. Mostly I like to make sure I get, you know, a little dab in those little dimples, because that seems like a spot intended for a better bond if you're using plastic cement, and trying not to get any on my fingers like I just did. So I have to be very careful not to touch the exterior plastic on this model while gluing together. We'll give that a good squeeze so it fuses together. Make sure everything lines up as best as possible, and then we, you know, kind of shave those seams down a little bit, help hide them when we get to priming this thing. I don't know. Hey, so everybody knows that Joann stores are closing. And I keep seeing people using like little chunks of cork to layer it up and make little rocks and stuff. So I might try that on this one, because like I said, I got it on sale. And intend to try it out. But it's gonna look, you know, very similar to the bases on like all my other guys. I'm gonna use the where's it at? The AK neutral texture rough terrain. Maybe try and add some extra rocks and stuff. But the bases looking similar are probably like my biggest concern when it comes to basing, just so everything looks cohesive, like they're all fighting on the same planet. Along with, you know, because I'm doing so many fine details on these guys and it takes so long to paint them, I don't want to spend a bunch of extra time on the base, because the goal is eventually to, you know, get these guys on the tabletop and play with them. mean, I'm sure cat litter with a little bit of glue will work just fine. It'll give, I mean, it'll be even rougher texture than what I got. Or I suppose if you leave it gray, it'd look like moon rocks and moon soil. But no, I see, I see some of these minis where people just do so much on the base, and they've already got like a really cool mini. It's like, why would you do something that would, take the attention away from the mini? It's, this giant piece of plastic is the centerpiece of the model. You want all the focus to be on it, not, oh, look at that, half crushed Necron that he's standing on. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. Like I said, I prefer to spend more time with the focus being on the model itself, not the terrain that he's standing on. Or she, if you do Sisters of Battle. Oh, it's Thursday night. All my notifications for other people streaming are going off on my phone. Like, Critical Role is live. Well, I don't have time for Critical Role. I have time for making dreadnoughts. That is what I'm doing. I get my D&D fix on Monday nights when I'm playing D&D with my friends. Okay. And from here... Alright, so matching up the picture to the part. That goes on like such. And I may do this the other way around, because I want the glue in the hole down there. Alright, so glue inside here. Make sure there's a little bubble down there. And of course, as I say that, the piece that I need to put in there falls out of the piece I was picking up. And squish. And we'll just keep moving this back and forth. So while the plastic is fusing at the joint, I'm not actually fusing the part that's supposed to move. Okay, so next pieces are going to be 74 and 75. I think that's got it stuck together pretty well. Can we find the pieces we're looking for? Yes. Yes, we can. They're right next to each other. Good job, Games Workshop. I appreciate when you make things easy to find. All right. More snip, snip, snip. So many connections onto the sprue. Uh-oh. It ran away. And I should be able to... Let's see. Just kind of squeezing these together for a second. Oh, that's the way it turned. Yeah. I just try to make sure I can, do the cleanup work on this if I go ahead and glue it together. But looks like that won't be an issue. So avoiding that middle section where the joint is, go ahead and get some glue on here. Kind of twist a little while it's gluing so you don't inadvertently glue things together so they don't move. I think I'm gonna have to... Really? Why was that coming apart? That could be problematic, Mini. Oh no. No, no, no. That's not cool. Like the elbow joint is very soft. And I don't know why. So we may have to let that rest a little while and set up. So no touchy on that for a while. Otherwise I'll have to find a permanent position for his arm to be in once I glue it on and glue it in a static position, because that's not cool. My office is getting warm tonight. Yeah, let's not turn the fan on full blast. Yeah, I'm mildly concerned about that. I just have to... If all else fails and it comes apart, I suppose I could drill a pin through it and try and re-glue it. See if that does it. But that's not cool. Just note to self, next time I next on his other arm. Make sure I'm not being too rough on that elbow joint. But yeah, just cleaning up mold lines. Trying to get it nice and smooth. And right here we're just knocking stuff off so pieces fit together better. Alright, so that should be that. And the next piece is 76. Just looking ahead a couple of steps, making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so 76 is the next piece I need. That's 86 and 76. Here we are. And just shaved the little connection spots down. I don't really see any alignment marks on here, so that's a little concerning. But we'll figure it out. Have to make sure you pay very close attention to all of your pictures in your instructions. Try to make sure my hands stay on camera because TikTok likes to pause my lives if I don't. So that pointing that way, spin this around. Yeah, this is 100% like guesswork on putting that together. Because I suppose that does twist back and forth, so Shouldn't be that big of a deal. But I want to be able to be consistent. On how that goes together. So then the other issue is I don't know which arm I'm currently working on. But the way the picture makes it look like this should be the left arm. And so if we're bent at the elbow, and are you not gluing together? No, you are not. Ah, that's frustrating. Okay. I need you to cooperate, Mr. Brutalis Dreadnought. Okay, anyway. So if this is his left arm, I'm going to try and line this nub up with the middle finger. Make sure we got a good amount of plastic cement on here. So these pieces fuse together. Give it a good squeeze. And hope that is enough. Hey, thanks for the likes, Horde. Appreciate it. How are you doing tonight? Just causing confusion on the stream because I'm live in multiple places. Doing all right. Had a long day at work and now I'm at home playing with my toys. So if I start talking to other random people, we got, you know, some folks on Twitch, some folks on TikTok. Nobody watches me on YouTube. I mean, if you're on YouTube watching this, prove me wrong, leave me a message. But I just figure put it up there everywhere. Okay. No, you're not going crazy. Like I'll have like 4 different conversations going on at the same time, depending on where people are watching. Apparently my ADD brain craves the chaos of being live in multiple places and carrying on multiple conversations and forgetting what I'm talking about in every single one of them. Because that's how it works. Okay, 68 and 69. Oh, thanks. I like you do a lot of really good minis too. The orcs that you're working on, those look really good. Like if you're interested, not required, but if you go to my Twitch page, it's same username. I think if you look at my profile on TikTok, if you go to my Twitch page, I do have a Discord set up where folks can drop what they're working on, like pictures of work in progress minis or completed minis or whatever art projects they're working on. So at some point, I'm going to get things set up to be able to have those. Be able to share those, of course, with people's permission. Be like, hey, look at what Horde is working on this week, or what Complicated Gaming is working on this week. So haven't got there yet. I just have things set up to be able to do that. But it's adding resources into OBS, and which is a little bit easier. TikTok is a little confusing sometimes, although a couple of streams ago I threw that Brutalis Dreadnought picture in the where's my finger at, in the bottom corner over here. I did that while I was live, because I didn't have anything put together yet, and it's hard to say like what am I actually building if I don't have a picture of it on screen until you get to like this point and it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously a dreadnought. But I take entirely too long putting these things together and painting them, because I'm like super particular about like all of my details and stuff. Like half this guy is stuck together with sticky tack or just kind of like pressed together, because there's lots of spots I want to be able to get into when painting. Like I said, he's falling apart because the sticky tack is coming loose. Get on there. I'll put him down before he flies into a million pieces. And get back to what I was doing with stuff and things. Where's I at? 68 and 69. Where are those pieces? Okay, I have found them. Yeah, it should be a permanent link to Discord set up on the Twitch page. If anybody wants to go over there and share what they're working on, see some of the see static pictures of other things that I've done, because when I'm posting to TikTok, it's I take some pictures and make a quick little video of what I'm doing. It's, to me, it's easier to like get a quick idea of like what I'm doing if you just look at like a really quick slideshow. But some folks are more interested in all the fine details, so that's why I post the still pictures on the Discord, so you don't have to like pause and be trying to look through the effects that I use when making the TikTok videos. I just think it's a good system doing it that way. Whether or not it's actually a good system or it just sounds good, I don't know. Hey, Nixnay Never, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing tonight? I think that's your name, Nick's Nay Never. Some names are like hard to read, especially because this is my smaller screen that I have on my hobby desk. Like I have my hobby desk here, I have my gaming desk right over there. My gaming desk is a strangely large contraption. Yeah, I played back in 5th edition, and probably like so many other people you've seen recently, the Space Marine 2 video game came out, and it was so good. I'm like, I need to start putting minis together again and build a new army. And of course, having been such a long break from the hobby, it's like so many of the minis have changed, and like there's so much more detail, and they're bigger models, because it's like, now granted, I played Necrons in 5th edition, so I decorated a couple of my Necron units with Space Marine bits, but I did have a couple of extra Space Marines. But it's like, hey, this is one of the, you know, like firstborn, if you want to call them that, older minis, and you know, to help convince the missus to let me start painting the minis again, I got one of these out, and so threw him together, painted him up like a black Templar. I mean, obviously just kind of rush, kind of crappy paint job as I try and drop one of my new ones. But then you compare that to the new Primaris Space Marines. I mean, huge difference in size and detail. Like, these things are so cool. And when I saw them, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a new Space Marine army, because these are just awesome. Yeah, the detail on the minis is so good. And even like the dreadnoughts. I think I don't have an original dreadnought, but it's like, I think these are almost twice the size of the original ones, and there's so much more detail on them, and they look so good. So I'm not regretting my decision to get back into the hobby. I mean, my wallet's regretting my decision to get back into the hobby, and the missus gets a little upset. It's like, you spent how much on little pieces of plastic again? It's like, but wait till they're painted. They look really, really cool. Okay, and then on this, these two go here. Yes, no, maybe. Yes. No. I don't know. No, I think I'm putting them on upside down. Hold on. Let's flip this around real quick. I think that looks better. Yes, let's the arm lay flatter. That's the right way. The instructions on this dreadnought are not very clear. It is so frustrating sometimes. And the fact that this is the other thing that I really like about the new minis is you glue them together in such a way that, they're somewhat posable. I mean, I can turn his wrist a little bit. Kind of messed up on gluing him together, and so this wrist, his elbow joint's very weak on him, so I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue later on, but potentially will be, and that's unfortunate. But it's something to watch out for next time. You know, when I glue the other arm together, I know to be aware of that. Alright, I need you to pop apart so I can put glue on you. And of course I screwed the cap all the way back down. But yeah, I've been having an absolute blast putting these things together and painting them. One of these days I do need to get my Necrons out and take some new pictures of them and post them on TikTok and whatnot. What is my favorite faction? Okay, so you'll see me talking to or responding to other questions because I am live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time. So I'm just not trying to cut off your question, Complicated Gaming, but there's people on other platforms that are trying to figure out what I'm talking about. I don't know, like obviously, I picked Black Templars to put together and paint because I just kind of like the fuck your rules attitude that they have, which entertains me. But at the same time, there's just like, I love a lot of things about various different factions. Like, orcs are hilarious. Like, I really like orcs because of just how absolutely chaotic their gameplay can be. The thing, the jump, which allows them to teleport somewhere on the board, that can go horribly wrong, is hilarious. Some of their weapons that they used to have. I haven't played orcs in a while. Yeah, more Daka. Absolutely 100% more Daka. The orcs are just hilarious. Yeah, like I said, Black Templars, they're, kind of nonchalant. Your rules are stupid, so we're not going to follow them. We're going to be over here doing our own thing for the Emperor. Yeah. Yeah, and the Void Dragon is an awesome model. It's an awesome looking model, but I don't know how well it plays in game. So, I'm with it, being as expensive as it is, while it'd be like one of those cool centerpiece models to own, I don't know as though I'd actually get one because I don't know how well it would play. Look at that, we got an arm. Oh yeah, like everybody tells me that, and of course it's even a more expensive model. Everybody's like, oh, get the Silent King, you got to get the Silent King. It's like, I've heard it's really good, but oh man, the price tag on that thing is rough. But yeah, my wife is, has talked about, learning how to play as I'm getting back into the game. Once I get my Templar army built, she'd pick up with the Necrons, and she kind of wants a Void Dragon, because I don't know if she wants to paint it or wants me to paint it. She does a good job painting minis. grab the minis. Alright, so a couple of months ago, a local game store was doing a painting contest, and they provide a mini. That's the other thing I'm trying to get her interested in is the sisters, because at times I think the sisters would be a good unit to pair with the Templars. I think it somewhat works in lore, but not all the time. But I did get her an emulator tank because it's got that big cool stained glass window on it. So I'm trying to get her into it. But a local game store, like every couple of months, has painting contests. And so they provide a mini and then they give you a theme. And so this was the mini that they gave everybody. And then the theme was pastels. So this is the one I painted. It's on my TikTok page. I think it's even on the Discord. So that was the one that I did. And because I was doing it and told my wife about it, she's like, oh, I'll give it a try. And then, of course, she does this one. You know, very well fitting into the pastel theme. Gave it a skateboard to be riding on. And I mean, that's just painting this little block that its foot was on. On mine, you can't really see it because of the extra terrain stuff. And she entered at the beginner level. I entered at the intermediate level. I didn't place at all. She got third place. I'm like, really? But it is what it is. She did a really good job. So she's capable of painting these things. But like I said, still trying to convince her to commit to a whole army. I think getting her to play a couple of rounds to see if she enjoys it may convince her, and she might not want to use my, dirty old Necrons that have been sitting in a bag for 15 years. I say they've been sitting in a bag for 15 years. I've been trying to get, back into the tabletop, which is why I'm putting this armor together. But I have played a couple of rounds, lost horribly because I don't understand some of the new rules. But I have been getting them out of their bag and playing with them. So, what am I doing? Trying to put another arm together. So, what pieces do I need? But of course, other factions I like. Obviously, I do like the Care Bear faction, the Salamanders. They're just super nice guys. They just want to take care of humanity. Necrons, because they've got some cool lore, like Trazen the Infinite. Is like the orc of the Necrons. He just has hilarious lore, like the universe's greatest klepto. Uno momento, por favor. Even though I'm sitting here talking and waving my hands across the screen the whole time, TikTok says, you must have paused because you're not doing anything. Stupid TikTok. Anyway, like I was saying, Trazen the Infinite is such an amazing character, how he's written. And then, of course, the fact that I decided to pick up Black Templars with the lore that High Marshal Helbrecht and Emitek the Stormlord have going on. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Started out with Necrons, now I'm doing Black Templars, and they really don't like each other. And of course, Black Templars don't like anybody, so there's that. Been watching some videos of another creator who's just getting into the hobby, and also chose the Templars. And of course, when you're picking out the faction that you want to play, you're just like, okay, what looks cool? And then like he's finding out that, oh, Black Templars have this bad rap for no reason. Well, yeah, I mean, but they are admittedly a disagreeable bunch. But hey, they're good at it and they get the job done. Okay. Now, because I'm fairly limited on like faction lore. After the couple that I mentioned, Necron Sisters, because Sisters have some cool lore too. And if you watch good lore videos, go find Baldemort on YouTube. He has the best voice for narrating Warhammer 40k. And he really gets into his lore videos. But after that, it's just like, okay, which factions have the coolest looking minis? Hey, Big Mac Choppa. Wah! I mean, not doing orcs, but obviously you do. And maybe someday we will have a wah with your orcs. Do a right good kicking day. But yeah, it's like after, what I know about lore, about certain factions, it all boils down to, like, which factions have the coolest minis. Like, orcs have cool lore. They've got a couple of cool minis. Like, all of the Black Templar minis are freaking awesome. I'm sorry, I'm biased. But they are. Necrons have gotten some... yes, I'm actually building a Brutalis. Because I think they look way better than the Redemptors, and they fit in with run up and hit stuff mentality of Black Templars. So it may not be a winning list, but it looks cool. And that's like the big point about 40k. It's the rule of cool. And the Brutalis is the coolest variant of the Dreadnoughts, in my opinion. There's actually like a back in the mid-90s started with Black Templars and Grey Knights. That's another faction that has really cool minis. I'm tempted to I'm tempted to grab some Grey Knight Terminators just for their helmets and paint them as Black Templars, because I hate the Terminator armor helmet. Like, you get a Space Marine in Terminator armor with power claws, it looks like a giant robotic space mole. I'm like, not interested. So I'd have to find like some sort of different helmet for them. Over on Twitch, we got, in my opinion, the prettiest models are Necrons and Sisters. There's some cool standalone throughout the Imperium. Yeah, like Morven Vale, of course you know, you just painted one. Amazing mini. The Mortifiers are super cool models. Like all the Sisters tanks, the Emulator, the Castigator, the Exorcist tank. They have a rocket launching pipe organ on their tank. Enough said. Cool mini. So you're working on a... Sorry, I'm hopping back and forth between chats. So Big Mech, are you working on a Carcharodon army currently, or one that you've done in the past? And yes, I will call Space Sharks Carcharodons because that's what they're actually named. Surprisingly enough, I actually know the name. Partially because of Space Marine. Space Marine 2. But they have some cool lore too. Aren't the Carcharodons the one that have like the ginormous just regular Space Marine, or is he a Primarch that's just like superly massive? Like one of their named characters. I can't remember what his name is, but like there's a bunch of lore just all about, you know, how massive that guy is. Oh, I understand, you know, needing some distraction from kit bash overload. I mean, I don't do a lot of kit bashing. I just put the minis together how they come for the most part. But I'm fortunate enough to live fairly close to a Warhammer store, so I pick up yeah, same size. That's what I thought. Same size as a Primarch, but just a normal Space Marine, just because the dude's massive. Like I say, I live close enough to a Tiberos the Red Wake. I live close enough to an actual Games Workshop store, so every month, I'm trying every month to go pick up the mini of the month. Just so if I do need a break from the Templars, you know, I've got other stuff that I can, you know, put together and paint. And it's also good practice for, you know, different painting techniques or trying out different colors and different paint lines. I like having the option to work on some other stuff. Well, isn't everybody Alfarius? Oh. Or Alfarius is everyone? I have no idea. I just know that's a joke. Yeah, I wish I had the time to read more books and get more into the lore. So it's like I catch all the meme stuff and it gets stuck in my head. So if I know something about a faction of Space Marines or Sisters or something, it's because of like stupid memes. 90% of the time. Okay, so this side has the dimples, so that's where I need to put the most glue. So it actually sticks together. Been having some trouble getting these pieces to stick. I mean, I like using the plastic cement, but I may have to switch to super glue for some of these things. Because the plastic cement just like melts down into the mini so quick sometimes that you don't get a good bond. Squeeze it together. But yeah, after the stream, Big Mac, I'll have to go. Do you have your orcs on your TikTok page? Because I'll have to go check those out. Give you a follow back. I can't get to my phone right now because this camera up here is my phone. That's how I do my streaming. I have a nice webcam, then I use my phone as an overhead camera. Just kind of make do with what I got. Bees do good. I am doing just fine today. How are you doing? A full wah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go check that out. I said, Bees, my man, follow this guru. I mean, I've been following a lot of different Warhammer TikTokers lately. I try and catch folks when they're live as much as I can. I'm working on doing an airbrush press for someone, kind of slacking on my arm painting. Yeah, it's, we all have side projects that we're working on that, take us away from doing our army painting. Doing good. Just got done with dinner and prepping for a yard sale tomorrow. I know the missus wants me to get stuff together for a yard sale, but that's always so much work. I do not envy you. Speaking of the missus and side projects, we're working on building her a home office as well. But I'm stealing my hobby time tonight and working on this Brutalis. Helping stepdad with it. Well, at least it's not trying to figure out how to sell your own junk. That's always frustrating. It's like, I'm just going to haul all this random stuff out of my house and put it on tables in my yard. And then get upset when people don't buy the junk that I don't want in my house anymore. You'd love to get one of these models, the Brutalis Dreadnoughts. I mean, they're cool looking models. So I'm working on a Black Templar army, and with the way the Templars are, it's like we're gonna run up as fast as we can and hit stuff in melee. It's like, what more embodies that than a Brutalis Dreadnought? I have these big sharp claw things. I'm gonna run over and tickle you. So I know they're not meta. I know there's like other more better options, blah blah blah. That you should have for your army, but you got to look at the lore for your faction. The other two dreads and the tactical warsuit. I know everybody's like, it's a tactical warsuit. No, it's a baby carrier. Everybody calls it a baby carrier. It's hilarious to call it a baby carrier because that's what it looks like. I'm not going to fault you for having one, but it's a baby carrier. They're funny looking models. Okay. Very carefully stick this together. Barry carries the Grey Knight model. Don't the Space Wolves have one too? See, now I'm gonna go Google it real quick. Where's my interwebs? Tactical Warsuit 40K. Yeah, no, Invictor Tactical Warsuit is the baby carrier. I'm looking at one right now. Thank you for the follow. See, I will look it up. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm talking about the right model. Yeah. I do not like these elbow joints. They give me much concern with how they go together. Like, these things are not going to hold together long term. I'll look. Okay. Got that one. 40K. Space Marines. Grey Knights. I know it's here somewhere. No, I think the Invictus is more of the baby carrier because it's got more of the cage around the Space Marine that's in it. You got to protect baby, not just have him flopping out in the wind. See, I do not like these elbow joints. I'm fairly certain that these are going to end up being glued into some static position. Welcome in, Lulu. And then everybody disappears as soon as I say hi. I see how it is. Now all my screens are out of order. Wonder if there's something wonky going on with the live, because like people's names keep popping up and disappearing. But yeah, I have all three of those models. Yeah, all right, they're all cool minis. Like Warhammer minis are just cool, but it is fun to to kind of give people crap about what minis they choose. But they're all cool. And one of the things I will always say is, they're your minis. Paint them how you want them, play them how you want them. There is no right or wrong way. Just stop messing with it. You're gonna break it. Probably already did break it. Anyway. Must find. Oh, really? So now I gotta make sure it's straight. 84 and 85. Now I gotta find more parts. Getting distracted. Looking at other armies' baby carriers. Let's see. Although I would say probably my biggest frustration with Warhammer, aside from for some of the stupid rules, are just how long it takes to put these things together. Hello, Junior. How are you doing this evening? Or JR. I see JR together, automatically assume Junior. I hope you're having a good evening. Trying to get my arms done on my Brutalis Dreadnought, so you can run around and do some test tickles tonight. I said tickles. He's testing tickles. Well, like I was saying, it's a little frustrating how long these things take to put together. And it's like, of course, because I take so much time cleaning up all the pieces and everything, I've already got like 6 hours into this mini and I haven't even started painting it yet. I'm glad you're chilling, Junior or JR or however you say it. Fairly new to Warhammer, like 3 months, but we've got a good batch of sets and books already. I mean, just be careful you're not getting in too far over your head. Have a set plan of how you want to do your minis. Otherwise, you end up with a massive gray pile of shame that you never get back to. We were just talking about a tactical warsuit, and arguing over whether or not the tactical warsuit was the baby carrier or if it was only the Grey Knight model that was the baby carrier. They're both baby carriers. Working on building, painting Dark Angel sets. Is like part of me wants to get like the Dark Angels combat patrol with the lion in it, just because they're cool minis. But it's like I keep saying, these cool boxes of plastic that I want to paint, and I've got, I just started on this Templar army in October, but because I do an obsessive amount of painting and a ridiculous amount of detail on them. I started these guys in October. I finished the Crusader squad. That's it. And I'm also limited on my painting time. So it's like I've got a couple hours, a couple nights a week, so I don't get a whole lot done. All four of them, you said the exact same stats, but Victor has 2 left toughness and 1 extra save. At least I think that's what SV is. Save. As I flip parts across the room and catch them in my lap, or try to flip them across the room. But yeah, it's like I spend so much time, obsessively trying to get all the mold lines off of them, and a bunch of extra time painting them, making sure all the details are exactly the way they're supposed to be. So I have a significant time investment into each mini. So it just takes me forever to get stuff painted. So I have to get some extra focus when I'm gluing. Yeah, all 4 have 8 movement, 12 wounds, plus 6 leadership, 4 objective control. Like, a lot of terms that I know from reading but don't understand how they work in the game anymore, other than wounds. Like strength and toughness, I get so confused on because I haven't played in so long. But I do understand the basic concepts of the tougher you are, the harder it is to get hits, and the more save the more saves you have, the harder it is to get wounds on you. I understand all that, but if you're toughness 6 and I shoot you with the strength 4 weapon, can I even do damage to you? And it's like, I don't remember, but I don't even know if there are weapons that do that little low of damage or low strength. But a lot of things to keep track of. Played a game with my Necrons, probably about a month or so ago now. And I was, talking to my opponent about putting together my Black Templar army. He's like, well, just glue them together and throw some paint on them, get them on the table. I'm like, no, I can't paint them with as much detail if I do it that way. which is why all of my intercessors are sitting over here off to the side, you know, primer gray with no arms and no heads. Because if I put their guns on, I can't paint their chest. Because that's just how ridiculous I am when it comes to painting my minis. Okie dokie. Now I know I need the Hooba Dooba Dooby 86, 78, and 79. And then we have another arm finished. Well, I guess arm is the correct term because I won't have his hands done until I do the talons. Don't remember exactly what they're called, but I know they are talons. Because that's what you use on a Brutalis Dreadnought. Do 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 do. But yeah, before I started putting this guy together, I just finished my Crusader squad and was having some significant decision paralysis on what to paint next. It's like, do I do the intercessors and keep working my way through the combat patrol, even though I don't really care about the intercessors? And when I get the Marshal painted, I'm never going to use them because I've got High Marshal Helbrecht and an Emperor's Champion and Chaplain Grimaldus, all of which are sitting on a shelf behind me, along with the unit of Sword Brothers. So it's like, what should I paint next? Because I have all these minis available to paint, and like I sat here on TikTok for a while, just like in, you know, Twitch and YouTube at the same time, just kind of asking, like, what do I do next? What do I paint next? And then finally asked some friends on Discord, like, what they'd like to see. And everybody's like, do the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought's cool. Just do the Dreadnought. Like, yeah, I've been wanting to put it together ever since I picked it up, but I've been working on other stuff. I'm like, no, I need to finish these other minis before I start on the Dreadnought. And then I finally got my Crusader squad done. And I say my Crusader squad's done, but technically it's not because I don't have a Sword Brother for it because I put one of the minis together wrong. So I need a second unit of Sword Brothers, which was always the intention because I plan on running a 20-man blob with Grimaldus. And probably none of this makes sense to anybody watching. Me saying, oh, I want to run a 20-man blob of Crusaders with Grimaldus. I've heard it's effective, and having a unit like that would look cool on the tabletop, so that's what I decided to do. Yeah, so over on Twitch, Dr. Rose waves Codex Astartes signed by Bobby Girly Man in front of the Dreadnought. Ooh, you gotta be quicker than that. I mean, right now he doesn't have his claws, so he can't do much about the stupid book. But yes, how's the meme go? Codex Astartes is Burscheißer. No, little German kid, don't join the Black Templars. Yeah. Exactly, Doc Rose, exactly. My God. Codex Astartes is bullshizer. Such a good meme. Yeah, there's like all this speculation of like what the new, which Primarchs are coming back, and it's like, you know, Rogel Dorn is not necessarily confirmed to actually be dead. He's just missing, and it's like it would be cool if he came back, but at the same time, you know, for Templars might be a little terrifying if he came back, because now instead of it just being Sigismund that believes the Emperor is a god, you have the largest Space Marine faction in the 40k universe that believes the Emperor is a god. And they are the most belligerent, most violent, most, you know, effective at doing their jobs. You know, and you know, he already basically disowned Sigismund for thinking that, and now there's, you know, the largest legion of Space Marines are his, you know, little bastard stepchildren running around fucking up the universe. Purging it. Oh, Black Templars are so much fun. But yeah, I think Rogel Dorn would be a little upset knowing that his kids are doing that. Oh yeah, leadership. It's like, I know you can get him to run off. Like if they try and do a withdrawal, they have to do a leadership save if you've killed so many of the models in the unit and all that good stuff. And they have a chance to run. And if they fail their leadership save in a tactical withdrawal, there's a chance they can just instantly get wiped off the table because they're trying to flee. I know some of the like basics of the rules around it. I just don't know all of the particulars. Because like I said, it's been too long since I've played, and because I've been playing with Necrons, they die really fast because, you know, everything kills them very effectively. Yeah, OC objective control. Like I said, I understand like some of the terminology, whatnots. It's just I, you know, don't or haven't played enough lately. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I think it glued to the gear piece and not. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's gonna end up being in a static pose once he's fully assembled. Unfortunately. Which is fine. But I'm just worried about, you know, trying to move the joints after he's put together. That was a poor design choice there, Games Workshop. But it's fine. Okay, so once again, this nub to the outside. We'll run our plastic cement around this lip here. And line up that middle finger with the nub as best we can. The armies that I have a Necron army when I played during 5th edition, so all of my minis are super old, and the minis from this Black Templar army that I'm working on are technically the armies I have. And I have a an emulator tank for sisters that I'm trying to convince my wife to get into, and I was helping another streamer on Twitch get through a 24-hour stream where he's doing some giveaways, and my wife won a pair of Chaos Knight War Dogs. So I've got a couple little things here and there, like bigger minis, but army wise, basically all I have is the Necrons and the Templars. I don't know why I'm grabbing that piece first when this is the one I need. Space Marines, Necron Tau-Nids, Imperial Knights, and some Stormcast Eternals. My wife really likes the Stormcast Eternals and some of the other AOS models, or Age of Sigmar models. And it's like she's more inclined to do the fantasy side of things. And so I keep offering, if we get the Age of Sigmar starter kit, I'll put the Skaven models together and paint them. That way I don't have to worry about picking up another, huge army that I have to do everything for. I can just, put the rats together. I mean, I have the ADD problem as well, but I also have several expensive hobbies. One of which is a Harley Davidson motorcycle out in my garage. So, yeah, all of my hobbies are expensive. So I have to watch what I spend on, toys. I mean, I can sort of justify the motorcycle because it's also a mode of transportation. Alrighty. I'm trying to pick this guy up again because nothing is really glued together. But we have arms. Getting closer to actually being a Brutalis dreadnought. And looking very, very cool. Yeah. I do not regret wanting a Brutalis dreadnought. I may regret running it on the table, but 130 Tau, 118 Nids, 81 Space Marines, 69 Stormcast, and 68 Necrons, and 7 Knights. Yeah, that's a lot of minis. But if we, keep keep with my record of, I'm going to start an army every 15 years. I should be safe in that department from spending too much money on plastic. Yeah, I mean, I do like some of the modularity, like if you don't glue them all the way together. So if you did want to run something else, it just, the thing that frustrates me with a lot of these models is like it wouldn't be that hard to just include like an extra arm for like the Redemptor Dread, so you could have two actual arms, or use the big pulse plasma cannon or whatever. Just twist off the arm, put the other one on, without having to do all the extra magnetization and craziness. Okay, it's time to give him some hands. And so I need 105 and 106. So let's get these ones cut out. And the other nights I bought myself like 30 models. The rest were gifts from family. It is always nice when family members are willing to indulge in your ridiculous hobbies and buy you boxes of plastic. If any of my family members ever want to buy me a bunch of boxes of plastic, I will not say no to that. 106. But my wife did go out and pick up High Marshal Helbrecht for me the other day. So definitely appreciate that. And if any family members end up watching this, when my birthday comes up in July, if you want to buy me another Black Templar Combat Patrol, that'd be great. That'd be amazing. I'd be so appreciative. You got time to save up. Start now. I know I should, just get pretty much the only thing I need out of the combat patrol is a Crusader squad, and I know I should just go ahead and get a Crusader squad and a Land Raider Crusader. But I also kind of need another Impulsor. But at the same time, Impulsor's not as good as other things. But it is what it is. I think the Impulsors will do just fine to cart Helbrecht and some Sword Brothers around, along with the Emperor's Champion and another unit of Sword Brothers. But finality on those decisions are still quite a ways away. Alright. I need your arm back. Okay, fine. I'll do it this way. Just pop the whole side of the dreadnought off. Okay. Put a puddle of glue in there. like I said, there's not a whole lot holding this guy together other than sticky tack in a lot of places. Just because I know there's things that I'm going to want to paint that I won't be able to paint if it's all in one piece. Just counted nights, bought yourself 34 models. Yeah. See, that shoulder joint's stout. The elbow, not so much. Anyway. Thank you for the like, Isaac. I saw somebody pop up briefly, and it said that they liked the live. Helps if Dum Dum putting the menu together puts it together the right way. That's all in 5 years. Like I said, I just started getting back into the hobby when the Space Marine 2 game came out. Because I was playing it, having way too much fun. Some of my older TikToks are game clips from Space Marine 2. Because I was like playing the game constantly. I need to go back and finish collecting armor pieces. But yeah, I started painting minis again like last October. All because of the Space Marine video game. Because it was so much fun. Okay, and this side... It's 109, and there's 4 of them. Oh, 1. Getting closer. Next update is in 4 days. It's on the 15th. Is that update for Space Marine 2? I've been so focused on getting minis put together and painting them. I haven't been paying attention to the video game. And if you're married, you'll understand what I'm about to say. One of my wife's work friends is married, has a husband, and she needs to, set up play dates for her husband, and my wife sets up play dates for her husband. So both of our wives decided that we need to do things together. So we've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds since it came out. So between building minis and making new friends and Monster Hunter Wilds, I haven't played Space Marine 2 for a while. Maybe I'll get some extra gamer time here before too much longer, and I can get back into some Space Marine 2, because it's, number one, it's way too much fun, and Getting those gun strikes and executions is so satisfying. Such a good game. Okay, how's this supposed to go in here? Assuming like that. New Tyramid mission, new gun, and some customization. I keep waiting for him to add actual, like Black Templar armor pieces like they do for Raven Guard and Dark Angels and stuff like that. Because once again, I'm biased and want to see my faction fully represented in the video game. You gonna fuse together in there or not? Oh, some of these, how some of these go together make me nervous sometimes. Like, I foresee having to glue this thing back together multiple times in the future. That might be one of the next ones since they're doing Imperial Fist and Space Wolves. Obi-Wan Kenobi, hello there. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I might have to go in and set up a bunch of, or not a bunch, but a couple of Imperial Fist armor sets because they are the parent chapter to the Templars. Or the first founding. And we have the same Primarch. Get in there. Ah! His finger's running away. Ordeals update. Like I have is that where they added the second computer in the back? Yeah. Yeah, I've played a couple missions since they did that one. I don't like doing this most of the time, but these need a little bit of extra glue. Because it makes me nervous how these things are holding on there. I don't know if you can parry spore mines. I think they just blow up in your face. Unless that's, the skill you're after is, blowing up spore mines with your face. At least that's how I tend to parry him. Oh, it's a side task in the ordeals. Interesting. I mean, I'd figure it'd be like more of a dodge out of the way than parry it. That and because I have Game Pass Ultimate on PC, 40K Dark Tide is a game that you can download through Game Pass on PC. So I started messing with that a little bit. And you parry 30 of them. If you do it correctly, you launch it. Oh, that's cool. That is something I'm gonna have to look into. I was saying 40K Dark Tide is available in Game Pass for Xbox, and so I downloaded it and made a character. And while doing the character creation, some of the options were very humorous to look at, but one option popped up and instantaneously my dad jokes kicked in, because it's kind of this little, short crew cut, haircut on top, and then this big black beard with no mustache. So my character in Warhammer Darktide is Slabraham Lincoln. So at some point I may stream that a little bit. I don't know, but like I said, my dad jokes kicked in hard as soon as I saw that, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I am Slabraham Lincoln in the Warhammer 40K universe. Because I am an idiot. Or I just have a good sense of humor, however you want to look at that. Alrighty. Who wants tickles? Ogren? Yeah, like I said, I just started playing it, and I think it's Fanatic is what I chose. Yeah. There we go. Got one hand done. Named Punt. Because he punts people across the map.
Bring it in.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie, that... What happened? I have lost my camera. Oh no. Did my phone die? Okay, apparently I forgot to plug in my phone this entire time I've been streaming. So Give me a minute while I try and get my phone back up again. I have a whole cord run up here to have my phone charging while I'm doing this. And I forgot to plug it in. I guess we have to sit here and talk, and I will entertain you until I can get my camera back
Where's
online.
your extra camera at? Why don't you switch the camera real quick?
That's because I don't know how well it would work.
Oh.
It shouldn't take too long to get this thing back on.
Is it one of the fast chargers?
I don't know.
Whoops.
Gotta love it when you experience technical difficulties because you didn't do something right.
Tisk, tisk.
Okay. Swipe to unlock. Will it automatically reconnect is the question.
What's the matter? Will it have enough juice to keep going with video? That's the question.
I mean, it should.
Nezuko, do you think Daddy will have enough juice on the phone?
Almost there. And I apologize for what's about to happen on screen. Oh, there it is. Now we're back. Okay. Make sure the camera rotates properly. Okay. All right, back in business. Note to self, next time you go live, plug your phone in because that is your overhead camera.
Is Mommy in your spot? Here. There we go. You can...
Okay. Let's get this other arm finished, shall we? So I need 108 and 107. See, crisis averted. Just a minor hiccup. No, and I think it's been a while since I mentioned it, and I don't know if you were in here when I talked about it earlier, B. If you look me up on Twitch, it's the same username. There should be, like, you should be able to look at the Twitch address in my profile on TikTok. If you go over and follow me on Twitch, there's also a link on my Twitch page to a Discord of kind of where I have a community page set up for people to stop in and share models that they're working on and their progress that they've gotten done on them. Got a couple of guys over there already sharing stuff. So if you're interested in doing that, you're more than welcome to. No, I'm not saying that, you need to do it right now. I'm just, letting you know the option exists. I mean, I think you've already followed me on TikTok, so it's going to be easy to find me again. But just trying to let you know that it exists if you are so inclined. And believe me, I understand 100% when you're busy doing something else and, trying to catch a live stream on TikTok or whatever. I do have a real job and I'm a delivery driver. So there'll be times I'm driving around town in my truck and I'll have my phone on the console next to me, just tapping the like button on somebody's live to help get them up into a popular live, and then sit there and listen to them for a while they're working on their minis. Just trying to help other people out, because it is kind of hard to get viewers on several different platforms, especially when nobody's liking the live or nobody's watching the live, and you're just sitting there streaming to empty space, talking to the wall behind your camera, and it gets frustrating and discouraging. So I try and help people out if I see somebody live, and give them some likes, get them bumped up to be in a popular stream or a popular live, because that'll usually get a couple more people into the live while they're streaming, and then a lot of times, because they're in there and they're talking, they'll start a conversation with other folks that pop in, because especially when someone's assembling a model, there's not a whole lot to watch. There's nothing really to see. It's not until you get painting and you're constantly turning the mini around on screen, and getting the paint on, that people really tune in to see what you're doing. Because, like, if we're being honest, who wants to sit there and watch somebody with an X-Acto knife make little gray flakes of plastic cleaning up mold lines? It's a little boring. But I try, like I said, try and help other people out, because I know it is rough streaming to an empty room, and trying to come up with something to talk about when it's just like, oh, hi, I'm here on camera, I put together pieces of plastic and paint them. It helps if you actually get that lined up. Guarantee it'll stick better. They're dum-dum. Anyway. But I've gone live and streamed to no one so many times. It's like, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I can sit here and whisper into the ether for hours while no one pays attention. Which is, also kind of why, I also streamed Twitch and YouTube. Of course, Twitch saves the videos for a couple of days. YouTube, it's there permanently. So, down the road, if I ever do have that big moment where somebody notices me and then they call all their friends to, come watch this guy who rambles while putting together plastic soldiers on the internet, I get my big break, and then people go back and watch all these old cringy videos of me saying, here I am painting my guy again. Thanks for watching. But like I said, I don't ever intend for this to become like a major thing. It's a hobby. I enjoy it. And some of the folks that you meet along the way too. Like there's a TikTok guy in the UK. Like we talk all the time when he's live, because he's live while I'm at work. Which must be nice, you know, to be in the UK and then streaming to an American audience, because it's like, it's 6 o'clock, you're done, you're at work, and the guy in the US is on his lunch break. You know, when I get home at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you know, it's what, noon in China? Nobody's gonna watch me from China. They don't even allow TikTok in China. I don't know, they might not even allow TikTok in the US, depending on what happens. I don't really care, but it is what it is. But that's one of those things, it's like the online community is global. Okay, as the spore charges up, you have to block or melee super close. Okay. I will have to try and remember that next time I play. And who knows when that's going to be. But good to know how to get that done. I'll be so glad when I have this done. I'll be so glad when I actually get to primer this thing. Because once you have the primer on it, it's ready to paint. You know, that's when the real fun's about to happen. Of course, one of the other things that I really like about streaming this, it's like, I have a complete record of, you know, putting this mini together from start to finish. And so, if at some point I ever come back and watch these videos, be like, oh yeah, that's what I did there. That's how that happened. But maybe I'm just a nerd like that. Hate that you have to pay a subscription to get online for Xbox, but you don't for the other two versions. Huh. Is it because it, just the Xbox Live thing? I don't know. Is Xbox Live a thing anymore, or is it just Game Pass now? I don't really know how all that works anymore. I do have an Xbox subscription because I do have a couple of older Xboxes, but I have a fairly decent gaming PC, or had a fairly decent gaming PC, and now I have a decent gaming and streaming PC because that one just up and died a couple months ago. That was very frustrating. But because I also play on PC, I just get the Game Pass Ultimate to be able to play PC games. And if there's something that I, can't cross play with somebody, I have the option to load it up on Xbox. But for the most part, everything's, cross-play PC compatible anymore, except for PlayStation stuff, which is why I don't buy Sony products. or a PlayStation. I will never own a PlayStation again. I had a PS1, the original PlayStation, because it was the most cutting edge thing at the time. So I can't say I've never owned a PlayStation, but I refuse to. If I can avoid giving Sony money, I will do it. Let's just put it that way. Just like, well, I would say just like Apple, but Apple TV keeps putting out some really cool looking programs, so I'm probably going to end up giving in and getting an Apple TV subscription at some point. I just saw a preview for something I think it's called Murderbot. And it's like, you have a show coming on called Murderbot. I have to watch that. It just seems like a very interesting concept. This hand isn't open as far as the other one is, so I'm having trouble pushing his finger into place. Alright, man, no worries. I'm glad you could stop by. I'm only going to be live for another 15 minutes or so while I finish this up. I usually stop at like 10 because I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn to go to work. And I will definitely be keeping up the hobby work because these things are just entirely too cool. But the Dreadnought is definitely ready to give out some free tickles. Looking so good. Such a cool mini. Okay. And we can skip this page. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do all that. And then 87 and 77, and then anything additional is decorations. And I'll have to find my, Black Templar upgrade sprue and see if there's anything extra I can add to him for giggles. I know there's some purity seals on here, but let's see if I've got some extra like Crusader seals in the upgrade sprue, because they just fit in better with the Templars that I've already done. But yeah, not actually going to glue these on yet, because once again there's all sorts of little pieces back behind where this armor plate goes on that I'm going to want to paint all sorts of extra stuff on. Because I'm just that obsessive about my paint work. All right. Now, don't know which one I just cut off, 87 or 77. Where is the other one? Oh. On the table in front of you, dum-dum. Yeah, they're identical. I don't think there's any difference between one or the other on these, so I don't think it matters which arm you put it on. So we're just gonna run with that. I guess that's a good question. You know, if you're a Black Templar that's interred in a dreadnought, would you have veteran status? And would you get a red border on your shoulder pads? I don't think it really matters, because Templars have their own unique command structure and do whatever they want. Why? Because they're the Black Templars. There's one. And there's two. All right, let's get a good look at this guy. There it is. A completed mini, ready to be primed. And of course, once he's painted, I'll figure out the pose that it'll be in. I said that's probably going to end up getting glued in place, but there we are. Man, that was such a cool mini. Looks so good. Alrighty. Well, now that I've made it through the assembly process, which, I don't know, might play with the pose just a little bit, because I think that looks a little bit better. It's like he's stepping in to reach for something. That's probably how we're going to end up doing it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming by and watching and chit-chatting tonight. I definitely appreciate it. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for the evening. Quick drink. But yeah, just a reminder, Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, we're going to be live here on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Either playing video games, putting together minis, painting minis. That's our Tuesdays and Thursdays. From 7 to 10 p.m., 7:30 to 10 p.m. All depends what time I get home from work. Hopefully some things will change and I'll be able to be a little bit more flexible with what time I get home and get started. May even be able to do this a little bit earlier to end a little bit earlier. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, Monday nights, I also have a group of friends that I play D&D with, and we're live on Twitch and YouTube Monday nights. So if you're interested in that, all of our previous sessions, minus a couple from when my computer died and at the very start of the campaign, are all up on YouTube if you want to go back and watch through those 60 3-hour long videos of us playing Dungeons and Dragons. We have a lot of fun. But yeah, Mondays from 7:30 to 10 p.m. Central Time is Dungeons and Dragons. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m., possibly 7:30 to 10 p.m., depending on how my day went at work, is when we're playing video games and working on minis. So if y'all want to come check me out, you can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. There's links to everything on Twitch if you find me over there. Hope to see you guys there. Hope to see you next time I go live. And enjoyed having you all tonight. And we will see you again. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting everything down. So Twitch and YouTube stream ending.